Mhm. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
All is well.
Excellent, excellent. So tonight is going to be, we have a special speaker with us tonight. So I'm super duper excited that she's here. We're going to be starting in a few minutes. Let's just give it a few minutes for our folks to get on. Let's just give it a few minutes for our folks to get on. 1 second. I'm excited. Tequita, are you there?
I am here. Dr. T, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are super duper excited to have you here.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, ladies and gents, you guys have your pen and pad handy? I hope you do. Because we're going to be going over applications tonight. And I'm super duper excited for each and every single one of you. 1 second, I'm just getting this set up so you guys can see my computer. So I apologize for that small delay, but I am super duper excited. So everybody put real quick where you're chiming in from. Everybody can put real quick where they're chiming in from. We got our old crew on here. Okay, North Carolina. Excellent, excellent. Connecticut, that's right, Miss Carradine. Nice to see you back again. Who else? We got Tampa, Florida. That's right. I was in your neck of the woods the other day. Okay, we got Florida again, Mr. Charles. We got Los Angeles. Boy, you mean to tell me in order for y'all to get on the call, I gotta have guest speakers? That's so unfair. That is so unfair. That is so unfair. Okay. You guys know how I do. Put them cameras on. You know, I don't play that. That is so unfair. I gotta have guest speakers on to make sure the mentees are on. That's crazy. Okay. So turn your cameras on. Hi, Lisa. Okay. Hey. Hey, Mr. Charles. So excited for you. Hey, Gregory. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Satira. Okay, guys, got to make sure you guys are inside of the Telegram group because some of you are not in the group yet. So we got to make sure you guys are in the Telegram group. Hey, Satira. How are you, honey bunny? I love the hair. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. So super duper excited, guys. We have my amazing friend who we have been in business. Whoo, how long has it been, Tequita?
Oh my God, some years, huh? Over a decade.
Yes, over a decade. And the one thing I love about Tequita is Tequita knows her stuff. Okay. And when I say know her stuff, she is a compliance person. That's the first thing I like to label her as first. Oh, sorry about that, guys. The one thing that I like to label her is a compliance person. And the reason why I say that is because Tequita, when we met, she was a paralegal.
Yeah. Well,
At a law firm. I bet you didn't think I remembered that, right? She was a paralegal at a law firm. So if you're a paralegal, that means you are definitely all about compliance. You know what I'm saying? All about making sure the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and it's essential and imperative and important to make sure that you guys have the right information. So I'm super duper excited because we're going to be talking about government contracts and grants. So all of you that are part of the mentorship program know that you guys receive the, and I'm going to re-email it out again, the email on grants, okay? The email on grants. We have 750 grants, but the best way to get these grants is to make sure that you are that you have what we like to say, the sam.gov, the UEI number. So we're going to give you a definition of what the UEI is and how you're able to obtain contracts. Another reason why Tequita is on here is because I told you guys, we coming with the big guns this year. We're not playing any games. We have the Family Business Summit that's going to be coming September here in Atlanta, Georgia. We have some amazing guest speakers that are going to be there. All of our mentees, be ready, because you guys, we got some things for you guys that will be coming down the pike. So I implore you guys not to miss that event here in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, that's going to be September 21st to the 24th. That's going to be a big deal for you on that day. I cannot wait to give you I don't want to say what it is because we got some really special things for all of the mentees. All of you guys. So, but to back up, one of the main reasons why Tequita is on here, again, it's about the government contracts, it's about the grants, and it's about getting certified as a minority business owner. Okay, so if you are trying to obtain contracts, if you are trying to obtain grants, if you are trying to obtain any SBA funding for your business down the line, you must start with the components of certain things first. Now, you guys know, I believe in making sure that your business entity is in place, meaning to make sure that you have when you have your name, you're trademarking your name, you have your business name, you have a business email, and if you have a virtual office, you need to make sure that it does not in any way, shape, or form is associated with any type of mailbox. Because when you are applying for your UEI number, it literally says no PO boxes and no virtual addresses. So you want to make sure, am I right, Tequita?
That is absolutely right, Dr. T.
Okay, so you want to make sure that when we are acquiring this information for your address, that you honestly have a location that has a brick and mortar that is attached to it. And we're going to be we're going to have an extra day on the funding portion. And the reason that is for our funding class, because we want to make sure your profiles are built out on social media the proper way, meaning that when your name comes up, that all they see on that one page is your company information. That is of the utmost importance, that your company is the only thing they see on that actual Google page. And I'm going to show you guys an actual example of that, how you're supposed to be on the Google page when your business comes up. Remember, I had you guys literally do your Google location. Satiri, if you remember, your place is a beautiful office here in Atlanta. We had you do the Google location. It's a reason why we did that. So when you decide, hey, I'm going to be flipping these homes or whatever it is that you decide that you're going to do with the extra time, I was hoping Sylvia was going to be on because, you know, her launch was this weekend. So absolutely amazing. And so again, she can go for government contracting for her business. She may want to supply schools. She may want to supply corporate events. Am I right or wrong, Mrs. Tequita? So yeah. She's a minority business. That's one. She's a woman. That's one. She could be certified as both minority woman business owner. So we want to make sure that all of you guys who are part of the mentorship program are literally laying things out the right way so you can get not just the business credit, not just the business funding, but government money. And Tequita, all I have ever known Mrs. White to do is to have contract after contract. I'm like, Tequita, she's like, come on, Tam, let's get this contract. I'm like, girl, I ain't got time for all that. That stuff take too long. She's like, nope. And she's made hundreds of thousands of dollars in her contracts. Okay. So I wanted her to come on tonight to talk to you guys about the contracts. And then I'm going to go into the actual application, how to fill out the actual application, because it is a little detailed. It is a little strenuous, but I'm telling you, once you fill it out, it'll be your best friend. So I want to bring up Ms. Tequita, our host.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you again, Dr. T. They say when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And when I say she messaged me about an hour ago, I was like, I need you to get on this call tonight with the mentees. And so thank you guys for having me here tonight and just giving me your audience to just share the knowledge that I have with you all. So Dr. T, I'm not really sure what the protocol is, if I'm sharing a screen, if I'm just, off the dome and just spitting it out.
Whatever you want to do, please share. If for those who don't know, she was here with us in Atlanta when we had our event. She was actually our guest speaker for contracts and everything. If you could, definitely share your screen, because some of the information that you shared, if you have it ready,
I can pull that up. I can pull
that you shared at the event was really important. And the reason I can call on you in 5 minutes, because you're my friend. That's why.
Absolutely.
But no, I didn't want to go over this tonight. I was going to go over it myself. And I'm like, why am I doing this when this is Tequita? This is what she does every day. And she helps other people acquire contracts as well. So it's not just her getting these contracts. She helps other people get contracts because she knows how to search for them. She was trying to get us, I forgot what contract you were trying to get us to do for here in Texas, but she was definitely trying to talk me into doing some contracts. So now that I understand the game, I wanted to make sure that you guys had the right information so we can move your business forward. So take it away, Ms. Tequita.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Dr. T. So contracting is an amazing space. As she shared, I have been in the contracting space now full-time since 2018. I went 100% entrepreneurship, and I've been able to do multiple six figures, like she said, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the space of contracting. I love corporate contracting as well as government contracting. I was able to secure my first government contract actually back in 2007. And so I had a nonprofit organization, a mentoring program. And in that program, I went into the juvenile system. I was still working at the law firm at that time as a paralegal, and I am in compliance. I'm a business analyst, so quality control is my specialty. Just really understanding the fundamentals of the flow of your business. And that's what we really have to, be very meticulous about, as Dr. T shared, coming into SAM.gov, which we'll get into SAM.gov tonight, because that's where you're filling out the application. It is a very tedious application, but you can get through it just with a little bit of time and having all of your documentation in place. And then once you do, you're able to contract, of course, on a federal level, but then you're able to go in and get other certifications like your minority business enterprise or your woman-owned small business. And there are other certifications as well from a corporate perspective, like MBE, minority business enterprise. And then from the government perspective, having that designation as a minority small business. And there are different types of those. And so I'll go ahead and I will pull up my presentation. If that sounds good to you guys, let us get some ones in the chat box. We want to be interactive tonight. Look, I'm the kind of person, I need y'all's energy so that right. I know it's landing and resonating.
We're not even doing no presentation. Everybody turn on their cameras. That's another thing. So you guys know I ain't even down with that.
Interaction. I love interaction.
Cameras on.
Look, this is like firebomb information. We need to see some firebombs over here in the chat. I just want to make sure that it's landing and you guys are tracking with me. So while I get that pulled up, let me see here.
I mean, who's excited to hear about the government contracts? Like, seriously, who would like some government funding? Okay, the one thing for sure, I'm going to use Satira as an example because Satira was over in Dubai, essentially on a contract. Am I right or wrong, Miss Satira? So she, once again, she's a compliance person herself. She's a teacher. She's an excellent teacher, but she's very, very thorough. I pretty love the fact that she is thorough. That she is pretty thorough because that to me, it keeps you on your P's and Q's and making sure that all your T's are dotted and, you have all of the information that you need. So once again, I want to make sure that you guys understand that it is imperative for you guys to take notes today. We're going to get through one portion. And again, we might have to touch upon another class because like Tequita said, the application is lengthy. Okay.
Yes, it is. It's very lengthy.
And if you're not prepared.
Yes, and I'll go through some of the documentation that you need. Can you tell me the time that we're looking at, Dr. T? I want to be mindful of the time that we have.
Hey, it's on you. We got 2 hours. We got 2 hours.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is just a little bit about me. I'm gonna just kind of push through. As she shared, I am Tequita White Mohammed. I'm affectionately known as your joy flowologist because everything that I do, I want to do it in alignment, in joy, and in flow. And where I found my flow is in this contracting space. Once I discovered what it is that I love, and just being able to present that out. These are my kids. I actually have another grandson as of 4 days ago. So I have my 3 T's and my 2 grandsons. They are the reason, like Dr. T says, it's all about the family. So family, legacy, freedom, and flow is my motto. And that's how I show up in this space. This presentation, I'll just kind of go through. We always have to have an aim, have our actions, our intentions, and then having that mindset. And I know that you guys have gotten into a lot of that work with Dr. T just from knowing her. So yeah, our experiences allow us to be able to monetize. And so we're able to take, whether it's taking our pain and turning that into profits, or whether that's just showing up, doing what you love. The good thing about it is that the government, as well as corporations, they purchase everything, you guys. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything from pens and stationery to porta potties, to lawnmowers, to gift cards, you name it. And there's probably a requisition on someone's desk waiting for us to come in and to snatch it up. We just have to have our I's dotted and our T's crossed so that we can get there. And so, of course, my thing is finding your area of joy, whatever that may be, whether it's popcorn like Dr. T's mentee did this weekend. She can come into corporations, get a contract to do their fun days and sell her popcorn. That's like how we are so positioned as small minority business owners, especially after coming through 2020. With the various divides within our nation, there are millions of dollars set aside for us. We just have to, be in position in order to be able to acquire those. And so let's get into contracting. As I said and stated before, they buy everything. If you are a real estate agent, they need to have, places where they have offices. They purchase warehouses. Somebody has to do that. They purchase accommodations for hotel stays. A realtor can negotiate all of that. If you're in health and wellness, if you're in manufactured goods, if you do stop signs, there's a couple here in Dallas. I'm out of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. There's a couple here. They are African-American couple, and they make almost all the signs for the state of Texas, all the stop signs, the yield signs, the do not enter, the wrong way, all of those signs, it's one couple, and they have this big contract, they're the primary contractor, and they provide those services. Of course, if you have a staffing agency, if you're in the IT space, that's what I usually provide. I provide wellness, like mindfulness, coming in, doing mindfulness, leadership, and then in the technology space, providing those resources. That's where I primarily contract. And so you have all of those opportunities. These are just some stats when we talk about major corporations. So not only does the federal government have a mandate for the percentage of business that they set aside and that they do with small businesses, but so do corporations. You guys, I was looking out about 3 or 4 days ago at the end of last week, and I was, and I'll show you guys this website because it's going to be everything when you're doing your market research and doing your pricing, because you have to know how to price competitively. And when I was looking at this site, I kept seeing Deloitte. Deloitte is one of the big major four consulting firms. They are the firm that I want to be able to subcontract with. They have millions of dollars in federal government contracts, but they have to give 23% to 37% of those contracts to minority businesses. So it's not just the federal government that we go after major corporations as well, such as Bank of America, your Toyotas, your AT&Ts. These guys have major contracts with the government, and it is mandated that they award a percentage, like I said, 23 to 37%, they have to award to small businesses. And so we are in a prime space to really, optimize our potential for financial freedom within this space. So I know that you guys are with Dr. T, so we'll just kind of go through some of these things, and I have another checklist that I actually give out to my clients that go through my program, and so I'll just kind of talk about that. When you're getting ready to register your, requirements, whether you're government or whether you're in a corporate space, the requirements are the same. Once you do everything that you need for the government, you're already set to go in and do corporate contracting as well, because the requirements are pretty much the same across the board. You have, of course, your business registration within your state, making sure you have your business insurance, your EIN numbers, your bank account set up, because you'll need that information, and then the office location. I want to kind of park and just kind of piggyback and reiterate what Dr. T said when it comes to that office space. You guys, I did my certification for federal government contracting last year. And what typically takes about a month to get through, it took me 3 months. And the biggest reason was because of the office location. So I originally had an office in another city in the Metroplex, and I moved offices to a place that's closer to where I live last year. When I did that, I didn't realize that my business still comes up, everything still comes up under my old location, even though I had changed it in some places, I hadn't changed it everywhere. They kicked my stuff back, you guys, 5 times. I am not lying to you. They kicked it back first because my registered agent office did not match. So you want to make sure your registered agent office matches. They kicked it back again because my addresses didn't match. Some of my things had the old address, and some of them had the present address. Then they kicked it back again because my space, I do office out of a co-working space. I actually office out of a Regis space. And I don't have a full office there because I have my home office here and I'm able to work from home. But I do have a dedicated work office space. So even if you get a virtual space or a co-working space, you have to either have a designated office suite or a designated desk number. So it can't just be like the virtual office. Even if you get not just the mailbox service, but the upgraded service, you want to make sure that you're able to have a suite number and you can go in there. And even if it's just that you have access, like with mine, I have access for 4 hours a day. Even if it's just 4 hours a day, you want a designated space. They literally kicked my stuff back because my contract did not have that on there, and it didn't have a signature, because with Regis, if you don't have the full suite, you don't get that signature. So I actually had to go and just take gift cards to the office manager. She loves me. And she signed those documents, you know, to make sure that there was a signature from the representative at the suite and that there's an actual suite number on that documentation, because they will not pass your stuff through. When I say they are meticulous, and I'm a meticulous person, but I did not have that all reconciled. And I learned a very difficult lesson. Does that resonate with y'all? Do y'all hear what it is that I'm saying? I see some hands going up. I don't know if you take questions during, or are we waiting for Q&A after? I don't mind either way.
It's whatever you prefer. I wanted to piggyback on the addresses, and I wanted to piggyback on when it comes to having the listing. And the reason why I say that is because what I'm really cracking down on with the team is making sure, with the mentees, is making sure that your business profile is set up the right way, as well as your documents. Okay, when I say your documents, it is your Secretary of State certificate of articles of incorporation and your EIN number. Okay, so it cannot be, so some of you may have had your business, your virtual office. That's why I say use your virtual address and make sure it's a brick and mortar, that it is on your articles of incorporation and on your EIN documents. It cannot be your address on your EIN, your home. Because sometimes some of you will go in and put, this is my business address, and they'll say, hey, do you have a different mailing address? No, you want to keep everything the same across the board. And that's what Tequita's talking about. So if it says, boom, on the articles of incorporation, your business address, leave it as your business address. Make sure you have a registered agent on your EIN. Make sure that the EIN document has the actual business address. Even when it says mailing address, it must be the same. Last thing, Tequita, because I need to show them this real quick, because you're speaking on this part and it is absolutely imperative. When you are setting up your enterprises, when you are setting up, when we're going back again over your Google, over your Google account, and most of you guys have already, we've talked about this. I'm just going to share my screen for a second.
Okay.
Can everybody see my screen real quick? Can everybody see my screen at the moment? Okay.
Yes.
The reason why I was so, when I say that I was so on you guys about verifying your Google location, is because this is what's going to come up on the right-hand side. And they're going to want to see that your address is matching up the same way. They're going to want to see that. And on top of that, to make sure that it's not a Google address, you see how I dominate this whole page. That is not a virtual office. I dominate this whole page. When they look up my number, when they look up my name, this is the only thing that's different right here. Okay. But when you, even right here, anything that had my name, my business name attached to it, I control the whole page. So what does that mean? As Tequita is explaining to you guys, that means your social media got to be on point. Because in order for it to be on this page right here, you need to have your Facebook fan page, not your personal page, your Facebook fan page. Okay. You need to have a LinkedIn if you choose to have a LinkedIn. Okay. Because again, anything that has your business name attached to it is going to show up on the Google search. Okay. It's going to show up, and they're going to specifically be looking to make sure everything matches. One last thing, and that I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you guys. It is best to have an 800 number. Now, I was opposed to it before, but it is better to have it now. Let me tell you why. If you decide to move your location, and once you move your location, you do have to contact and amend your paperwork with the Secretary of State. You do have to call the IRS and amend with the IRS because the documents have to all look the same. And you need to update here on Google as well and on all of your platforms. But the telephone number, if it's an 800 number, will stay the same. So you'll never have to change your number. So I just literally got my mom, her company has been Sankofa for years. Well, her number is 8555 Sankofa. So that number will follow her everywhere she goes. So when you think about an 800 number, and I'll give some listings towards the end, of where you can acquire 800 numbers, but it is imperative that everything across the board is exactly the same. Go ahead, Ms. Satira, with your question.
And when Dr. T says that, it's absolutely critical, all of those documents, even if you originally incorporated like 5 years ago and the address is different, you really do have to get all of that updated. And before you start the process, otherwise you'll be like me 3 months into what should have been 1 month.
I wanted to inquire about kind of making sure everything is in alignment. And I know a couple of calls before, Dr. T, you mentioned us not necessarily using virtual offices anymore and that we could use our registered agent. So I wanted to confirm if that would be appropriate, since you're saying that they want you to have a physical, desk or space.
Well, it's more of a suite number, okay? Now, some of them, depending on what type of funding you're going for, they're going to want to know if they can come in and sit down, okay?
Right. So with the virtual office that I have thus far, that's not an option. Now I have another opportunity here in Tuscaloosa where my tax preparer, she has this office, this open space where I wanted to potentially rent it out for, wait, what? Oh, I was like, what's that?
Would be great.
Yeah, but you have a lease. You'll have a lease with her and you have a designated area.
So let me say this part. My virtual office, I can go and work in my office. So that's a difference. So if you have a virtual office, a lot of these virtual offices, you actually can go in there. Opus is one of those offices. Regis is one of those offices. WeWork is one of those offices. Rome is one of those offices. Alliance is one of those. You can actually go in there and physically sit down and say, hey, I want to rent the room out for the day. They will let you do that. But the thing is, if you have an address that doesn't have a suite number that's attached, that's when they're just like, okay, hey, and they see all these listings of these companies. That's where the problem comes in at. They want to know that something is specifically for you. Does that make sense, Satira? So
yes, ma'am.
So just check with your virtual offices and say, hey, I want to come in and work today. Is that possible? Some of them you actually can do that with. Okay.
As long as you can do that, and to Dr. T's point again, and you have a suite number, even if it's a desk number, they will accept that. But it has to be a designated space that you yourself can physically come in and work at.
And so my follow-up question to that is, when it's time to change over and confirm that, all of my documents have this same address, I just want to be sure, would it be better to use the virtual office or the office space that I was just speaking of with my tax preparer?
If you have an opportunity to use your tax preparer's office, and if she doesn't really if she's going to charge you the same amount that you're doing for your virtual office, I would go for it. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I would go for it, hands down, okay? Because that's an actual physical location for you, okay? And if it's a designated desk and they were to come in, boom, yes, this is where you work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's an actual room with desks where I would have a cohort of students there.
I would go for it, hands down. Hands down. If I were you, I would do it, jump on it. So all we need to do is amend your Secretary of State documents. You will have to call, and I will drop the telephone number for the IRS so you can literally change the address, because you do have to do it with the IRS. There's no if, ands, or buts, because it has to align. Okay.
Okay.
And
Does that make
also
sense?
they do, when you're doing that application, the very first check they do is with your taxes, that your taxes and your business is aligned. So whether you do a LLC and you do your taxes as a S Corp, or you do your taxes as a sole proprietor with the pass-through on your Schedule C, it has to align with the EIN number and your business name, because that's the very first check that they do once you submit the application.
Again, I'm trying to make sure everybody business is in total alignment. That's why my compliance, she really need to be called compliance chick. Okay, that's really what she need to be called. All right. So did that answer your question, Ms. Satira?
I think so. So the only thing I would need to update is with the Secretary of State and the IRS for the EIN. Is there anything else we
And
need?
Google.
Google. Okay.
Yeah, because they, like, when they check you, they do a thorough check to make sure that you are an actual legitimate business, that you're going to have capacity and capability once you start to, go after and land your contracts.
And then if we are, like, for example, my LLC has been in existence for a couple of years, but I haven't actually been in business. So in terms of like taxes, I've not filed as an LLC.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a matter. There are a lot of, my mother's had her LLC for 12 freaking years. Okay. All right. It's age. She can go out and get any kind of funding now. I was just like, are you serious?
Like saying that there needs to be alignment. So I was wondering about that aspect of it. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's getting a little off track.
It's okay. The alignment is all about that all of the information matches. Okay. That all of the information. Now, if you file taxes, some years you're not going to file taxes because you had no money. I mean, you didn't do any business. So that's fine. But the bottom line is, did you pay your annual articles of incorporation? Right, Tequita?
Yes.
Is your IRS documentation matching up with the articles of incorporation? If I was to search you on Google or any other platform, does it match up? That is what they're going to be looking for. If you didn't file taxes, then you didn't file taxes. But if you file taxes,
you would just put your personal. You would put your personal in that case. If you filed your taxes under yourself and it's a new entity, as one of my clients, that's what he did. He just started his company last year, and he actually got his certification, or he got his approval as an authorized government contractor in January. And we started his company. I helped him form and everything in June. And he's now a registered government contractor as of January. So it's like, he took his time about it, but he didn't have, any funds coming through because he hadn't really been working the business. So you can definitely still get approved as an approved government contractor. You just have to make sure that you on the line, because they're going to ask you for that tax information. Then you just put your personal information on that line. You'll still put your company name, your EIN number. You didn't file taxes because it's, a new entity, or you've had it for a while, but you didn't claim any revenue.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that.
And Dr. T, when you're going through the application, you'll see once you're going through where all this information needs to go. It's very tedious, but it is self-explanatory, but you do have to really read, carefully to make sure. The first time I did it, it took me 5 hours. Now I can do it in like about 2.5 hours with my.
That's why I said we might have to do a different day. Because, like maybe next Wednesday or something like that. Or if you guys are game, we could possibly do it on Friday. But the quicker you do the contract, the better. So if you're wanting to do this Friday or next Wednesday, drop it inside the chat so we know. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Tequita.
All right. Any other questions? Everybody good? Good. Say, let's get to the contracts. Let me see that in that chat. Fire it up for me. Okay, let me share my screen back out.
Drop Wednesday or Friday, guys. We only got 3 people that did follow the instructions. Okay.
I think I should be back on share mode.
Yes, ma'am, you are. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I think that we're good there. Okay, so just talking about some of the numbers, why is it important for us to be able to tap in? First of all, like I said, they have set aside millions of dollars for us as minorities, as women, as African Americans. But the government is the largest consumer, the United States government. Let me be very specific. The United States government is the #1 consumer in the world. They spent over $650 billion on goods and services. And as of 2022, with going through COVID, they spent over $5 trillion, you guys, in goods and services. And when I say everything, once you get in to sam.gov and start like doing searches, you will see they really do purchase everything. Like I said, gift cards. I did a bid a couple of months ago. I missed the bid. I was over by $4,000, but it was a bid for hairnets for the correctional center. They needed somebody to provide hairnets to the cafeteria workers in the correctional center. So I mean, everything, everything. And then you have, the advantage is you have, large contracts. They're usually long-term contracts. And so the contracts usually range like from a year to 5 years. And some people have 20-year contracts. The good thing about it is with your first contracts, you may get a 1-year contract, but when you perform and you service that and you show you're capable, they give you options for usually at least a minimum of 3 years. 3-year options is typically what the contracts come in for. And they pay you on time. You know your money's going to come. Again, this is the same as the government, the same as with corporations. If you're in logistics, there's a young lady, I am in an accountability group, and she started her business last year in March. I love her story. So she started this business in March from scratch, new LLC. She had a business previously, but she specifically started this business because she wanted to go after government contracts in the trucking and transportation space. So she started a logistics company. She does not own one truck, not one. And she started in March. In October, she got her first contract. And last month, she got her second contract. Her first contract, which they both are US Postal System routes. She goes from like Maine down to like South Carolina or North Carolina. And the first one was a 4-year contract for $6.4 million. And the second one that she just got last month rather, was for $4 million. So in the last 1 year, she has secured a $10 million contract. And now she's a large company and she has to now subcontract out that 23% to smaller businesses. So those who are in the accountability group that have trucks, they can partner with her because, collaboration is the new currency too, right? So, that's what's so important about community and having a community. And what I love, with what Dr. T is building, and so many of us, that are building in this space as we come into this wealth that is ours, that we're entitled to, that we, that we're building here. So it just gets me so super excited to be able to talk about that and, to know that each one of us, this is our season of rise and our turn is next, So that's exciting. If you're a photographer, an event planner, I know a lot of people are in like the event space. Even with that, there are contracts that are available. Even corporations, they contract out for those types of services as well. This just talks about the different agencies that utilize the services, you have agencies like the Department of Justice, like what I just talked about, the Department of Criminal Services, you have the Department of Energy. I just registered for an opportunity with the city of Fort Worth. They need to build a new software system. And so I'm going to be bidding on some things that they have in the city of Fort Worth. And that's the good thing about it, is that it's not just at the federal level. That's just one aspect. You then have the state level, and then you have the city level, or the county level, and the city level. So you have 3 different levels, from federal to county, to state, to county, to city. So it's actually and then with the corporations, then you have 5 opportunities for contracting. From the local municipalities, that's where I was able to get my first contract in 2007. And then I did a contract in 2015 with the city of Arlington, which is a local municipality. I came in and did some business analysis for them. And so you have different agencies, and depending on what you offer, some of those agencies, that's what they primarily, purchase. You have the Veterans Administration. I didn't put that here, but you have different departments, Health and Human Services. So as I get more into leadership and mindfulness, I'll go after more contracts in that space. And so there definitely is opportunity for everyone. Just more stats. These are the certifications. So once you get approved as a government contractor, you want to now go after the certifications, like the small business certification, minority business owned, woman owned, the veterans. If you're a veteran, then you have the hub zone, which is a historically underutilized business zone. And if you live in a certain area, or if you have employees, actual employees, and you employ 2 or more people from one of those areas, there's a set aside. So these are the percentages, like, of all the contracts. They have set these aside, you guys. And what's really good is, and this is like the secret sauce, they have what's called sole sources. These are not requisitions yet, but they're looking for someone to fill them. And many times people don't, respond to them because it's not an actual proposal yet. However, because people don't respond, they typically issue them and turn them into actual proposals within 6 months to a year. And usually whoever responds to those inquiries are the ones who get those contracts. And so that's like a way for us to be able to have, things lined up in the pipeline. And so I'm really excited, about those types of opportunities. But they literally have set asides, and we can come in and fill out those types of requests for information, or requests for, businesses that meet the requirements, and almost have a shoe-in of a deal to win those types of contracts. So we talked about this a lot, as far as what you need to obtain in order to, have your company registered as an approved government contracting agency. And so, just kind of going back again on that. Of course, we'll go into SAM.gov to get the unique entity identification number. That's the UEI that Dr. T talked about. Of course, you have to submit your application. The other thing is really going to know your NAICS codes. And so you really have to know what are the services that you provide. Before you go in to do the application, you need to determine, whatever your area of expertise is, and then get at least a solid 5 to 10 NAICS codes that are going to be your area of specialty. Because you do have to have that entered into the application. And then once you are a registered government contracting agency, you want to go in and you want to complete your SBA profile. So that's another website. Once you get that completed and get your cage number, then you can go in and complete that profile.
Tequita, can we talk about that cage number real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
So, there's some things you're talking about people don't know. So the
Okay, I'm sorry.
the NAICS is an identification that represents your business, what you service, what you provide. It breaks it down in categories, but the cage number is a little bit different. The cage number is a commercial and governmental entity code. It's a unique identifier assigned to suppliers to various government or defense agencies, as well as to government agencies themselves. And wait a minute, because I had actually had a little bit, and that's specifically for governmental contracts. It's also for grants.
It's for your federal, and this is all at the federal level too. So
Correct.
remember that. And this is the reason why they're so meticulous, because they are checking you through the Department of Defense. You are being cleared through the DOJ. That's why that you have to show that you're legitimate and that you are who you say you are.
And that's if you want those contracts. That's if you want,
exactly.
If you don't have to do. So I just want to make sure everybody understands, like I have an SBA profile. So anybody who got money, whether it was PPP or you ended up getting a small business administrative loan during the planned scamdemic, anybody who got that, you technically have an SBA profile. Or if you did not create the profile, because some of us have started paying it back, did anybody on here get an SBA loan during the pandemic? Drop a 1 in the chat if anybody got an SBA loan. If anybody got a PPP loan, drop it inside the chat. Okay, so if you receive any of those fundings, then technically you have an SBA profile. Okay, so they're going to know that portion of you already, because they're going to already have your EIN number. Okay, they already know that you're in business. All right, but the cage number is slightly different from the NAICS and the SBA profile.
Right, and the cage number is actually what you get once you have been cleared and you are an approved and registered government contracting agency. So that is the final step. That is what secures your position to be able to go after those contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go through like the first part of the application and you may pass through like the clearance, your business is cleared, but it's that cage number that is so like just rigid because you are being cleared through the DOJ. And once you have that number, then you're good and ready to go. Like you can do business even without having the additional certifications. You can start to go after contracts, and you can self-declare as being a small business because we are, because of the dollar amounts as well as the size, because there are multiple things that they look at to determine whether you're a small business.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So these are the additional certifications. Like there are, like it's a whole plethora of additional certifications, and it really just depends on what your aim and what your goal is with your organization, on what you want to go after as far as a small business certifications. And if you meet those requirements, you have like the bigger programs, like if you've been around for 2 or more years and you're making a certain amount of revenue, then you can go into like the 8A program. But initially, the first thing that everybody goes after, of course, is your minority business enterprise, your small business designation. If you're a woman, then your woman-owned small business. And then if you're a service member, then your veterans or your disabled, your service disabled veteran-owned small business. Those are the keys. And then the hub zone. And there are 2 different types of hubs. So the state has its own hub, but then there's also a federal hub. The state hub is pretty easy to get, at least for Texas. I haven't looked at a lot of the other states, but those are typically easier to get. The federal level of a hub zone is where you have to be in a certain zip code, and then you also have to have at least 2 employees that live in one of the hub zones. I think that is it as far as the presentation goes. But then I'm prepared to jump into SAM.gov, or I didn't really know how you wanted to move through.
SAM.gov, I think that we should do on another day.
Yeah.
SAM.gov is very extensive. I was wanting to do it tonight. Okay.
No,
But
you're not going to be able to do that.
Right, we're not, because we need to make sure that you have all of your documentation with you when you're filling out this form. Okay. So
But
that's
Dr.
why.
T, what I can say, not to cut you off, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
You can go ahead and request for the UEI, that
Right.
unique identifier. You can go ahead, and that way it gets the ball rolling while you're getting your documentation together.
Right. That's the first application, because there's like 4 other parts right after you get that UEI number. Oh my God. I was like, Tequita, this is doing the most. I don't even know why you got me doing this. But yeah, I mean, but it's true. I mean, there is another section on there that will make you have to fill out, and that is the data. Wait a minute, which one is it? It is the core data. That's another section that has to be completed.
So I would recommend that start with just going in and getting started with requesting the UEI. And then the next steps are pretty simple until you actually get into the application, because that's going to be the most tedious part. But once you have all your documents, you're able to flow through it.
And that's why I want to make sure, I'm like, we shouldn't do this part tonight. We should do this on another day, and we should do it sections. Okay, it's not going to be done sections, because I can't do no 4 hours, 5 hours with y'all. But because after we do the UEI, then it is the core data, then it is the assertion, then it is the representation and certificate, I can't even say it, and then point of contract. So those are the 4 after. So we're going to break it in sections. Okay, Quita?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we got to break it in sections. Go ahead, Ms. Satira.
Do we have like a checklist of things that can be done outside of the session, or things that need to be done before we attend the next session? For example, I know for me, I need to update my Secretary of State and my IRS and my Google. Is there anything else that we can do prior to, or do we have like
technically you have the documents, Satira. So let's just say you didn't change your information. All the information that you currently have is what will be going on to apply for your UEI number. Does that make sense? Okay. You already have your articles of incorporation.
Yes.
You already have your EIN number,
Yes.
documented. Okay. But I'm going to say this one more time, one more again. That address must match the address that you have with your article of incorporation.
That's what I'm saying. For me personally, I know that needs to be updated,
right,
to the location that I'm interested in.
Right. So before I get off, let me give everybody the telephone number to the IRS where you need to change the information, okay, on your EIN document and have it faxed to you. You can call 800-829-0015, or you can call 800-829-4993. That is the IRS for business, where you can get your, I said Miss Business. I meant to put IRS for business. Hold on one second. This is where you have an opportunity to make sure that's IRS, guys, where you have an opportunity to update the document, okay, and have it sent to you So you have an actual document, because even when you go for funding, and I think I mentioned this to you guys when I was up in Pennsylvania with the other person, her EIN document had a different address, and it was like, oh, we can't use this, so we need a lease. Okay. So it made it difficult because I specifically gave you guys, just like Satir, when you came, you had everything I asked you to have in that one binder. She didn't do that. She had it in a folder and it was all over the place. Okay. That's why having the book is on point. Okay. Like on some real talk. Having the booklet for, and I'll get mine. Hold on one second. Having your booklet.
Yeah, I have mine too, Dr. T.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta have it. It's your lifeline.
Like I said, I am so proud of Satir. When we went into the bank, it's as much as Satir, and everybody was laughing because they knew Satir was driving me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I was like, Satir, you asked me one more question, one more again. But I couldn't be upset because she was doing what I asked her to do. She was just crossing her I's and dotting her T's. So I'm so grateful that she did that, because we walked in the bank and she had everything. I said, girl, I need to get a video because my girl had everything. Like I said, she could be a client's chick junior, okay, to Tequita, because y'all are anal. Lord Jesus help me, but in a great way, in a great way. But yes, if you can order your book, if you can order this, I'm telling you, it is your best friend, because all you gotta do is go like this. And all your documents are here. You're not misplacing anything. And when you fill out for the EUI number, please understand that your EUI number is going to come up on the screen. You need to take a screenshot, download it, and put it inside of your book. Because it's going to give you that number right then and there.
Yeah, well.
It's going to give you the number, right, T?
Yeah. Okay.
So what we can do is give a checklist. So Tara, just stay on me. Just send me a text, because we're going to be talking tomorrow. Okay. Because I told you Wednesday, remember when you texted me last week? Because I told you on Wednesday, I said in about 6 days. Okay. So I just need to get some information from you for tomorrow. Okay. So let me give you guys, so we got a question about where do you get your corporation book? So let me tell you, I gave everybody a site. I didn't get mine from Amazon. You want to know why? Let me tell you why. Because Amazon can't do your seal. So Mr. Queer, I'm gonna stop your screen for 1 second.
Oh, I was about to, yeah,
okay. Amazon can't give you a seal. So I have two. Okay. Did you get a seal from Amazon?
Yes, ma'am.
They gave you a seal. How much was yours? Still $70?
I think it was like 50 something, almost 60.
Did they give you this one, or did they give you this one?
That one, the black one.
The clamp? Okay. Drop the link real quick.
Okay.
Because the one thing that I was concerned with, how long did it take yours?
Like a couple of days.
Okay, well then that's good. Drop the link. Because the one thing, that's the reason why I did not order it, because I was like, I need my seal for my documents. Okay. I need my seal. So you can either have a stamper or you can have the imprint, what comes inside of your documents. And I implore you to do what my girl did, because I was so proud. She put everything in sleeves, okay, to protect her documents. All right. So when you put it in the sleeves, what's going to come with your documentation is you're going to have what is called your certificates, which is your membership certificate. Okay, that's one. You're going to have your operational agreement that's going to come inside. So if you're a single member, you have your agreement. Okay, you're going to have your contribution ledger. So if you are giving your company money, you need to document that. Am I right or wrong, Tequita?
Yeah.
If you are giving your company money, you must document that you're giving your company money. A second. Okay. And then, well, I took my whole book apart. 1 second, I'm sorry. Your articles of incorporation, your EIN document, your lease, your insurance. Does everybody have business insurance? It doesn't cost that much. It's like $100, okay? That's like errors and omissions insurance. You need to have some type of insurance for your business, okay?
Right.
You need to have, and people are taking this stuff lightly. You cannot take it lightly. If you're gonna operate, if you're gonna be a business, you need to operate as a business. And some of us slip.
Yeah. One of the things that especially if you're doing corporate subcontracting with corporations, they are going to request your writer sheet or the binder sheet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want to see the first copy.
Mm-hmm.
This is the reason why we got back into insurance, and I didn't even want to. I was like, oh my God, because I'm upset because I let my insurance license lapse. So I have to. I'm not happy about that. So I have to retake the state. So that's the other thing I've been studying for my insurance license, because I have to do it all over again, unfortunately. But there's a reason for it, guys. It's all to make sure that I am in compliance for my own business. And then, of course, I can write policies. And because we're becoming our own bank, I can help my mentees, help you guys have your own insurance policy. No more, like a lady came, literally was knocking on doors today. She knocked on our door today because she wanted to present us with a life insurance policy for final expense. Why are you offering me only a final expense? Now, she said it's not term, it's whole. But why are you only offering me a final expense? Why aren't you offering me a UIL? Why aren't you offering me a whole life policy that allows me to make 8% on my money? So these are things that they're not telling us and teaching us prior to, but this is what we need to know so we can grow our money. We got to start putting money to the side. So we have another person on here who, you have your insurance license. Aretha, you got everything. Okay. So like with Shayna is a licensed registered traveling nurse. Oh my God, Tequita, could she not get contracts?
Oh yes, absolutely.
She could get out the wazoo, right?
Yeah, she definitely can get contracts. And as a traveling nurse, look, you can put some other nurses to work and get
That's what I was trying to tell her.
Okay.
That's what I said, girl, you can teach other people how to be traveling nurses. Now you can get some contracts for that.
And yeah, she can teach them. So that's one way. And then also she can go and she can get a contract to provide travel nurses. One of the young ladies in my mentoring program year before last, in 21, not 22. So in 21, the end of 21 so November of 21 to February of 22, she did $1.7 million in nurse staffing. She got a contract and she just provided nurses.
So guys, are you guys not excited that Tequita is now a part of our team and she will be helping you guys with government contracting? Can we please give a round of applause for Mrs. Tequita?
I love it. Give me some fire.
Okay, some fire signs, okay? Because so Shane, I'm just saying, don't miss out. Shantae, you're on here also. Shantae, you did contracting as well. Am I right or wrong, Miss Shantae? I can't remember. Miss Shantae?
Which type of contracting, Tam?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Which type of contracting?
It don't matter what contracting. I can't remember. I just remember you doing contracting.
I used to have a license, but it was for auto and car.
Okay. So we definitely need to make sure that all of you guys, see, like I said, when I bring a guest speaker on, all the mentees come on. Okay, don't make no sense. Okay, but we need to make sure that all of you guys, honestly, are able to take advantage and to get your mentors, I'm sorry, get your contracting on. Okay, it's imperative. Go ahead.
I want to make sure that everyone knows how to find their NAICS codes.
Yes, you want me to pull it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a particular site. Now,
It's
this is the thing though,
NAICS.com.
this is the thing though, Tequita, when we're inside of the other one, some of the codes are different. We have to use different codes though.
So there's a difference in the service codes and the NAICS codes. You're going to need your NAICS codes for your registration. I know that the service codes are usually used more at the state level, but for federal contracting, you need to have your NAICS codes. And you want to have at least 5 to 10 of those. You can have more, but you want a solid 5 or 10 of those.
Now, I did drop this website inside of the chat for each and every single one of you. So you guys can copy that and please bookmark that onto your, your internet browser so you can just go to it. I would implore you to make sure that you write down your 3 to 5 codes that you're going to use, okay? The one that I like to use is for marketing consultant. That's the one that I use a lot, okay? And that one is, hold on 1 second. I'll give you guys that code.
And if you do a search, like you can search keywords and it'll,
Yeah, management consultant. Oh, and it is also best to look this site up on, hold on, let me stop this. I'm on Firefox. You need to look at this site on Chrome because Chrome has the more updated version. Let me go back to Chrome. Chrome has the more updated version. So I want to make sure that you guys are using the right browser, okay? The correct browser, all right? So we had a question. The book came with a stamp. Can you also provide where the book, where you got your book? Yes, ma'am, I will. Yeah, because it's all in one. So here, management consulting, this was my code.
Yeah, you guys put some example in the chat of what type of services that you have. I'm sorry.
I would stay away from trucking if you're going for funding. I'm just letting you know, okay? I would stay away from that. Put your business entity, business type of service, as she said inside of the chat. Nobody wants to put their type of business in? George, put your business in. Mr. George.
You had to call me out, didn't you? All right, it's put it under healthcare staffing and recruiting.
Okay. So healthcare recruiting. So let's see here. Home care services. I don't know if you want to do that. Yeah. Healthcare services. Except
it may just be under recruiting services.
I would do management. I would do management consulting.
Or staffing, if you put
staffing, yeah. I think it was more staffing because I've pulled it before. When I was doing the
employer organization.
Yes.
So these two codes, like you said, 3 to 5. So here are 2 codes right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got a couple of codes, a couple of them.
You may look under personnel as well if you're doing staffing or recruiting. You may look under personnel.
So before I leave this one, you got this written down, Mr. George? You got it. It's 561-330 and 320. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to look for some others. So let's look at property. I will stay away from real estate. I will go with management consulting if I were you, Ms. Wilson. Just keeping it real. And the reason why I'm saying that, because if you're going for business funding, if you have those things inside of your name, it's going to be too hard for you to get funding. So I would always go with the generic name. So if you're property management, you're still management consulting. That's what you are, management consulting. Okay. All right. I'm just keeping it real with you.
And Dr. T is right as far as your naming convention goes. When you're looking at your codes, it's just your service codes. It's just showing that you can provide more of these services. And so you can have like your primary 5, and then you can have subsequent, codes, like if you are in any of those house, for like the logistics or whatever, so that it doesn't interfere, but you still can have additional codes to be able to go after additional contracts once you get your funding and everything in place.
This is one of my codes right here, 541618, for the person who asked. So I'm gonna look up another one, nursing. So nursing facilities, home care services, continuing care, assisted living, offices, and all other miscellaneous health practitioners, other technical and trade schools. Once again, what makes it generic is management consulting. I'm just being honest with you, because it encompasses anything.
Right. And so you want that like as your primary. That could be your primary. And then you have like the secondary ones. That's how I have, like, for me, I have my primary, and then I have like, technical services. I have administration services. I have personnel. Like those are the types of ones that I have.
Would you prefer them to use their SIC number, Tequita, or just go back to the other primary one?
It's going to be what they're going to ask for in the application is the actual NAICS code. So they're going to have it. Yeah.
Okay, somebody wants me to look up fitness and wellness. Fitness and recreational. So this is a whole page. Other personal hair, home goods. Let's just go with the word fitness real quick. That one was a little bit better. Sporting and recreational goods and supplies, all other personal services. That's definitely another one that you should use. This one right here, because it doesn't say what it is. You can break it down into other things. Software development. Is this helping anybody? I mean, is this helping anybody? Honestly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Dr.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
we look at the one I put in when you finish?
Okay. Okay, so software, computer, peripheral equipment and software. I don't think that's you. Electronic manufacturing, reproduction. Well, you're an engineer, Josh. So would any of these relate to you? Computer system design services?
Yeah, that's the software consulting.
Yeah, that looks more like you, Josh. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then let me go back up. Satira, financial literacy. I would go under education. Education support services. You see that? That speaks really to you. Professional management development training. That's continuing education.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, Satira? Continuing education. Educational support services. I don't know actually if administration of education support, but that's that deals with state departments. So you don't want that one. Okay, but there are a couple right there. that definitely speaks to what you're trying to move into. Okay.
What about the other individual and family services?
Have you said family services? I don't think I
No,
said.
right. The one in the middle of the screen, 624-190, right there.
Yes, you can do that one. Community health education. Well, that says health education. Are you doing anything that's in relationship to health?
Nah.
Well, being broke will make you sick. So I don't know. You might want to use that. I don't know. You may want to use that. Okay. All right.
Mine's gonna be part of it, but yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to give a spotlight to somebody this evening, super duper quick. And then the next time it goes to Aretha, Mrs. Sylvia. Oh, do you really want to do it for Pip and Pop, or you want to keep it under Designs and Exquisite? Can we give a round of applause to Miss Sylvia? She launched her business this weekend. I'm so excited for her. Okay, you guys see her branded behind her. Aretha, you see her banner? You next, girl. I had to get her out of the way for this weekend, but you next, honey. I'm almost finished with your labels. Okay, so Miss Sylvia, how was it in all your branding stuff this weekend? How was that for you to see your business?
Oh my God, it was awesome. It was awesome. Even my team, when they got their t-shirts, they were so excited. And my uncle was here, and he came out to support and just left this morning, and I gave him his t-shirt, and he was like, I am wearing this with pride. And so he was so excited. He was like, these are my cards.
Oh, I love it.
My postcards.
I just want to show you guys a quick little snippet of Miss Sylvia.
Where's the music?
That's so exciting.
Congratulations, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I can get maybe 2 hours of sleep before I start again.
I feel like I need clappers. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm just super duper proud of Miss Sylvia.
Thanks,
for this
everybody.
weekend. It's called Sylvia's Pippin Gourmet Popcorn, and I have to tell you, it's that jalapeno popcorn and that the mix is the bomb. Okay, is the bomb. All right, so there's her website. Please, she does ship. Please order from her. She, we designed, so I did all of her shirt designs, her website, her branding. I did the easy part. She made the popcorn. Okay. But it was exciting to see her, following through with something, and guys support. It costs $10 for a bag of popcorn, and she ships it right on to you. So, please take an opportunity, because the next person up is Aretha and Antonio. Okay. I'm excited about their brand. They have a beer oil and skincare company. And, our big thing is to make sure that they're prepared for Father's Day. And their website is fire. That's Sylvia's website was fire. Okay, Sylvia's website is fire.
But their website,
and this is the part that I love, because once again, we went through the credit portion. We were able to get some things off of Antonio's stuff, off of his credit, and then the next thing is, she got the car, and then we got the funding portion coming up. And then, what is it? Wait a minute. Where did it go? Hold on one second. What just happened here? Oh, here it is. Okay, and so now we are I'm so excited about this one because they deserve everything. This couple here, because they've been working so super duper hard. And I'm just excited about, what we're going to be doing with their product. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys super duper quick. And this is the reason why we're doing some of the stuff that we're doing. It's not just, this is not about me, it is really about the community and making sure that you guys are executing on the things that you are receiving. Hold on one second. What is this? The dang on site just go? Oh, here it is. I'm like, what happened to the site? Okay, I'm like freaking out. I'm like, all that work I did on that site. Hold on. I was about to cry. Okay. All right. So this is their site right here. And I'm just excited about their product. I'm super duper excited about their product. For Father's Day, it's all about the big launch for them, making sure that everything is on point. They're labeling. I mean, Sylvia, did you like your labels?
No, I didn't. I loved my labels.
I got scared for a second. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. So, but again, this is, we want to be able to take everybody's business to the next level, and that's what's important, is taking everybody's business to the next level. Sylvia herself, Sylvia's Pippin Popcorn. We got to change it around a little bit because we really did it for the show, for the event this weekend. But Sylvia's, I believe in colors because it's all about the personality. So we're going to switch up Sylvia's website, but this is how good her popcorn was looking. You already saw it. We was even selling water out there, weren't we, Miss Sylvia?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So she had her branded shirts down, her banners, as you guys could see. She got her stuff right behind her. So this is what the community is all about. So for those who haven't been as active, get back active. Okay, Mr. George, come on, we got to finish up. Dana, we got to finish up with the remodeling. I'm sorry, the rehab stuff. Kimberly, I'm glad that you're doing better. Let's go. Janetta, you got the t-shirt. You and Mashonda, let's go. We got a new person. What's her name? Cara Dean. Rashawn, you still haven't told me what your idea is. Joshua, he's on with big now with the Airbnb. So we want to get his course and all his stuff up. Leslie, we're trying to buy this. We're trying to make sure the family's on point, right, Leslie? Leslie and Terry, because both of y'all in the same situation with this trust. So we can go and get, the funding and the trust. So we and Shayna, let's go with this school stuff now. Let's go. You need to be getting these nurses like on point. Come on. So right now in Joelle, here it is. She's creating her book. I actually want to redesign your book, Joelle, if that's okay. So we don't have time to waste. We got to get moving. Okay. But we got to make sure that our infrastructure is on point. So number one. Yes, go ahead and put it on the calendar. Number one, what is needed for when we are going to do the UEI? Have your Secretary of State, your certificate of organization. Go into your Secretary of State website, download it, save it as a PDF, and print it off so you can put it in the book. That's one. Make sure it has the business address. That's the first step. Step two, make sure that your EIN number has the exact same address as your article of incorporation. So like Mr. George, remember you changed your name. So we got to make sure all of it is straight. Okay. We got to make sure it matches up. Step 3, get an 800 number if you can. Okay? Because the 800 number will follow you everywhere you go. But if you move your address or you no longer are with that virtual office, remember that number goes with that address, with that place that you had. But if you have an 800 number, it stays with you everywhere you go. So like Sylvia Pip, you know, S Pippin or something, Sylvia, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, something popcorn as your telephone number, 855 popcorn or something like that, okay? That number stays with you everywhere you go. Step 4, you want to make sure that Google has all of your information for Google Business. But you want to make sure you have your social media and handles on point as well. LinkedIn, fan page, YouTube, and Instagram. All of those entities. And if you're able to do TikTok, do TikTok. Okay. The next thing, Tequita, did I miss anything?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Just the next codes. We want to make sure they have those so that they're ready to go.
And you want to have your 3 to 5 next codes, as Ms. White says. Okay. I only had 2. So she says 3 to 5. So that's what we're going with. 3 to 5. She said up to 5 is what she wants you to have. So please make sure that you have those in play so you can go ahead. Because again, we got to make sure, again, we're going for contracts. I'm trying to rehab some houses. I'm not even lying. I got a friend, Dana, she make me sick. Because she just bought a house for $20K, rehabbed it for $65, and the house is worth $200. She flipping them nonstop. That's what I want. That's the big thing that I want to do, because they're doing gentrification. So we need to take advantage of it and do it ourselves. We need to be buying a block ourselves, right? So that's something that we really want to consider doing, and we really want to be serious about. And then the next step is making sure that your trust is in play. You guys know we have a trust person on staff now. And in the next day or two, you guys are going to hear from our funding person that's going to be helping me, Lavetta, so we can get more funding out quicker, all of that good stuff. So I'm super duper excited about that. So we coming with it. We're coming strong. You guys are going to see more people coming on to give more gems like Miss Tequita. She is the contract person. So when you guys are ready to schedule, just make sure you send in your support ticket so we can schedule the appointment up with Tequita. So for those who just say, I don't want to fill the application out, well, that's what Miss Tequita is there for. Now, y'all think I'm mean sometimes. Tequita is nice, nasty.
I am never.
Okay. She's nice, nasty. Okay.
I'm assertive.
She's nice, nasty.
Ain't nasty. I am assertive though.
No, she is very assertive. You think I'm like on, her voice sounds nice, but she be getting on me. So I just want you guys to know that Tequita is going to be here for us. I'm super duper excited about that, to help you guys so we can get more government contracted. That's more funding, Sylvia, for you. Okay. Getting popcorn to the government, agencies. Am I right? They got contracts for all kinds of stupid stuff, don't they? Not that popcorn, because it's not.
They just have everything. Yes.
Yeah.
So any questions before we get off, ladies and gents? Nico, you got any questions, honey? Kara, our new one, Mr. Charles White, Tyrone, Gregory, you guys got any questions? Let's get it. Shantae, darling. Wilson, you got any questions?
Thank you.
Danielle, you have any questions? Liza?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tyrone, I can hear you.
So I went on and was filling it out while we was going through the thing. So once I get the number, the unique entity ID number.
Correct.
Does it take me time to get it, or was I supposed to get it that quick?
No, you're going to get that one quick. It's the other stuff you got to go through.
So once I do that, do I continue the registration or go to workspace?
If you want to continue the registration, go on and do it.
Just be prepared if you have all your
Just
documents.
have all your documents in order. They got to all be the same.
Okay. So if I got everything structured right, like you say, the business entity, professional phone number, just like I'm structuring it for business credit, basically, right?
Correct. That's correct, Tyrone.
And then I'll just go through the process. And what would I be waiting for next after I get this unique identity number, entity number?
Well, again, that's where you get an opportunity to, you still want to finish up the other ones because you still want that, what was that one called? That other code.
So you're gonna get, the first thing you're gonna do is they're gonna do your clearance through your taxes. So the tax clearance will happen first, and then you'll get your cage number. And that's when it's the complete process. But to Dr. T's point, they have different sections. So you may be able to get through it like in one section because it's a lot of reading if you don't understand. Like they have a whole section about all the FARs. And so you make sure that you read through that carefully when you get to that FAR section, because that kind of trips you up a little bit. But like I said, it'll take probably 2.5 to 5 hours, just depending on, for me, it was because I was like documenting and, really absorbing everything when I first did it. But yeah, it's not like you can do it in 30 minutes. It's
okay. So my next question, is it all right if I'm a nonprofit and want to apply for this, or is that a different category?
That's different. Nonprofit is different. This government contracting is for profit. It is for profit.
For profit. So it will have to be a for-profit LLC.
Yes.
And you say the tax clearance, what if that means I have to file taxes? What if I haven't filed taxes? If I owe them, it's not going to work or something? Or I'm going to have to pay?
You either have to have paid or have to have an arrangement.
An arrangement. That's if I haven't filed any?
Yeah, you have to, they're gonna do a tax check. So if you haven't filed, then you have to show some type of arrangement. When you say you haven't filed under the business, because it's a new business, you're still gonna do through your personal. You can do a personal check if your business is new, it's a new entity. So that's okay if you haven't filed taxes under that entity yet. You'll just put that information there and it'll show that you own it. The addresses will match up. But you'll just do it under your personal.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. If you haven't filed it under, you'll just do it under your personal.
I have to be in good standing with the IRS in order to even pursue these contracts.
Oh yeah, you have to have your taxes in order to get a government contract. Even with the grants, even if you're going for your nonprofit organization, because that's a different process, and that's under grants.gov instead of sam.gov. But there are, grants that are out there. Like I was looking at a grant to go and speak in Africa. They had it was a smaller grant for $10,000, but it was for all paid to go and speak to a group for women empowerment. So they have different grants as well that we're able to go in and to look at and to apply for as well. But you do have to have good tax standing for all of it. Even if you owe taxes, that's fine. You just have to have a payment arrangement in place.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Danielle.
Hi, everybody. I want to know, as far as the unique identity number, did that replace the DUNS number? So if we have a DUNS number, okay, so if you have a DUNS number, do I have to go back and apply for the unique entity identifier? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
There's still a use for your DUNS number, but as far as with SAM now, you no longer have that number. It's the unique entity identifying number.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So asking for the Calendly, for those who are wanting, wait a minute, this thing is doing an autocorrect. Hold on one second. Who need to schedule for the trust, who need to schedule for I think I put that in right. For those who need to schedule for the trust, for those who need to schedule for the government stuff, for those who need to schedule. Okay, there's the link. So you can just go
So
ahead.
Dr. T, there was a question from
Oh, Ms. Wilson, do I
Mhm.
have to do an amendment to my articles of organization since I had most deaf? Understand
Well,
how old is your-
she said she has two businesses. One is a management consultant and one is property management. You can register for the contracting. I would, recommend that you do your management consulting instead of the property
Correct.
management, because you can still do property management under your management consulting. Well, you may want to keep it separate though for your business, how you have it structured. Or you can do both of them, but I would go with the management consulting because it's a broader, and you have more opportunities with that.
Correct. Sorry, I didn't see the question. Yeah, most definitely. Wilson. Yeah, honey, Nico, you can. Any other questions, guys? You're welcome, Greg. Good to see you, bro. You still driving? I thought you'd be home by now.
Yeah, I'm still driving. I'm on my way to California.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Okay.
I won't be home until about Saturday night. I just left this morning.
Well, be careful. Better you
I
than
will. Yes, ma'am.
I drove to Florida to see Sylvia. So, but what kind of software contracts do they have? You'll have to look on there. There's a listing. There are contracts for everything, Joshua. You would definitely benefit from getting one of those contracts. Tequita, it seemed like every 90. So guys, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. Tequita is my friend. She makes me sick because I'm not going to swear because I'm ordained now. So I'm trying to work with that. This being ordained. I forgot to tell you, we got ordained. Okay. Joelle, quit laughing. Quit laughing.
Get ordained.
Because we ordained now, so I can't say the curse words now, okay? Because we got ordained a couple of weeks ago. Okay. But Tequita don't do nothing but travel. So it'll be 90 days she on a contract and then she out in Thailand or something. Where was it that you went?
Oh, I just came back from Antigua.
Right. So she's always, it seemed like every 90 days she's really it's not every 90 days. It seemed like now it's been like every 60 days she's been out of the country.
Yep.
I have to, what you say, Joelle?
I see her.
Uh-huh.
Posting
Exactly.
on the mountain tops, hiking. I see her.
I love it. That's how I want to live my life.
That's
why I love contracting, because I can work remotely and I can travel the world. And that's what I want to do.
And we want to make sure everybody can enjoy that. So Shayna, Tyrone, Leslie, Miss Wilson, Shantae, she just text me and just got off. Rashawn, Janetta, we need your new login because we're sending rounds out and we don't have your login. We got all our documentation, but we need the login, okay? All of you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. The recording will go out. It's been a blessing. I hope you learned something. We will send out for the time, whether it's Wednesday or Friday. We're going to try to do it Wednesday, but we need everybody. It might have to be next Wednesday because we need all of your documents in place. And it's not going to be in place by tomorrow night. Okay. So we need those things in place. So if I need you to execute and get it done tomorrow. So that way next week, it has those days and it's already in place. So can we give a round of applause, some fire signs for Mr. Quita?
I hope it was helpful for you guys. I hope it was helpful.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Ms. Tequita.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Truly appreciate it. Thank you guys for getting on. Don't just be coming on when we have a guest speaker. Y'all better get y'all butt back on these calls. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless to all of you. Have a great night. I will see you guys, UCC people. I will see you on Thursday. Okay. Thursday, UCC, Thursday. All right. So be ready Thursday. Okay. All right, everybody. Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Night, night. It was a great class.
Thank you. All right, Retha. I'm just about finished with the labels because I was finishing up with Sylvia for this weekend. So you guys should have that by tomorrow, Wednesday, okay? Because you need them to go print, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll get that to you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get it to you tomorrow so you can go get them printed. And I'll give you the same place that she went to, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you guys still haven't given me the edits for the site. What I need to change. I just got label information. That's all you guys sent me. Remember I gave you.
I sent you something else too.
Okay. All I saw, can you
I'll
resend it?
resend it.
Yeah, because the only email that I got was for labels. That's it.
Okay, I'll resend it.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Have a great
night. Dr. T, you didn't put where you got your stamping book from.
Oh, I apologize. Hold on one second. Hold on. Miss Sylvia, can you drop that link where we got our books from? Because my mouse just went out on my dang on computer.
Yeah, let me, yeah, I have it bookmarked. Hold on.
Yeah. My doggone mouse just went out.
Bookmarks.
And awesome job, Miss Sylvia. I'm gonna touch the hem of your garment the next time I see you.
Thank you, Juliet. Where you been, girl? Been missing you.
Girl, I get lost in the when we doing the business, but that's okay. I'm gonna get caught up. I got a Dane. I caught that one.
She got a podcast. So we should,
you know,
Miss Juliet has launched her podcast. So that is correct. Okay.
I did do that.
That's awesome, Juliet.
It's Juliet. She launched up. She needs to be coming over here seeing Marcus and Alice because we got the podcast in the basement.
Oh my God, that would be wonderful.
And get some tips from them, Miss Sylvia.
Absolutely.
Miss Juliet. Okay, there it is, Miss Juliet. She dropped it inside. That's right. Binder Tech. I couldn't remember the name of it. It's Binder Tech.
Got it. I clicked on it.
You can get your LLC binder. That's where I got mine from. And they were pretty fast.
Yeah.
I was just concerned that the Amazon would not do the seal. That's why I didn't order from there.
Yeah, they may have changed it, but when I looked at it too, there was something about Amazon that was different or something. I don't know. I think it was the seal, but they may have added
that. Yeah, because we actually went online and looked at it. Plus, the other reason why I think I like this one is because I like the fact that you can have different colors. That was the reason. I think that was the reason why we went ahead and went with it, because they give you all kinds of colors for your booklet. Whereas the other one, you're only confined with what they had for theirs. And it was something else about it too, because we had looked at a couple LLC kits. Yeah, see, LLC kits with seal or LLC without seals.
And the seal does what? Just in case I'm not understanding.
Remember when you're signing documents, you seal it with your company seal.
Oh.
Yes, that's what you're doing. And so if you want a higher end, like you can use this one, that's the reason why, because some people they didn't want the standard one, but you can have a binder that looks a little bit like this. That's a little bit more, but the other ones, they were like these. But again, you can choose your colors, and I'm a color girl because I got a pink one. Okay.
So this is not like being a notary public. It's not being a notary public. It's just, I guess we'll talk about it later. I don't know. So
we're going to go a little bit more deeper. Yeah, we're going to go a little bit more deeper on notary. So if they want to start a notary business, what they need to do to get a notary business up, because you do now have to go through a certification with notaries now. Because now with notarize.com, but still people have local notary businesses that are mobile notary businesses. So you still may want to consider doing that. That is also an actual option. Okay.
All right, super fantastic. Thank you.
All right, guys. Miss Janetta, did she put that in there? Oh, okay. You guys do it. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you again for joining. God bless to you all.
All right,
Dr.
bye-bye.
T, when you get a moment, give me the it was the sign in I needed for something. If I think about it, I'll text you.
Sign in. Oh, girl, I'm going to bed.
I know. I'm saying, yeah, I know it's your bedtime.
Okay. All right then. Good night, everybody.
Good night.